Lexus IS250. Man, my car is so dirty. I think we had a dirty rain the other day, and if you can see that or not, but it is absolutely filthy. So today we're going to give it a little wash job, and y'all can watch and help me, and we'll talk about my Lexus that I've had for about a year. Stay tuned. Hello there, this is Don Flint in Corpus Christi, Texas, and today I'm going to talk about my Lexus IS250, which I've had about a year now. I'll tell you about it. It's 2016. Bought it from BMW of Corpus Christi here in town. It's dirty. I'm going to have to wash it, and I'll wash it while we're talking about it. And stay tuned and enjoy. It should be a lot of fun. Talk about the car a lot, kind of like a review, and get this on YouTube and see what people think about it. Appreciate it. Let's get to work. Yeah, this little car came about because back about a year ago, I decided to buy a new car because I had a 2014 Kia Sorento that had a bunch of miles on it and was going to need to be replaced. So I've always been a Kia guy since I sold it at one time, and I decided that's about the time that the Telluride came around, and it seemed like a pretty cool car, being an SUV, and I was an SUV type person. And I actually had a friend that worked there. I used to work there for 3 years, back in 10, 11, and 12, I think, and sold a lot of Kias, owned 2 Kias, and I had a 2014 Kia Sorento at the time, and went and drove the Telluride, and I liked it so much I was going to be an early adopter and put one on order, which is what I did. I wanted a EX in white, pretty simple one. I liked the features of the EX, but I didn't want the bling bling of the what is it called? The super nice model. Didn't really need that. I wanted the tech and the with the clean look of the regular model. And so I went to a local dealer here in Corpus Christi, shall go unnamed, Mike Sarkia, and sat down with him, knowing it was one of the first ones. I knew I had to pay full price for it, and I thought it was good enough that it was worth that. So I ordered the car. I didn't put any money down because they were ordering them anyway, so I avoided that part at least. And it was going to be about 6 to 8 weeks or longer, and I was willing to wait that. We did a preliminary trade value because of the time involved and the new miles I'm going to put on the car. So we basically waited until the car came in to do the final. I kind of knew what the Kia was worth because I've been watching Auto Trader, NADA, and kind of had idea what I wanted for it, which is around $10,000. It was paid for, so pretty good equity. If I could get to Telluride at list even, and come out pretty good. Have a good car. And it was unproven at the time. There's a bias against Kia. know if it's because of the name or what, but there certainly is some attachment to that name. So, I still need the water, don't I? So anyway, waited 6 weeks. Car came in, gave me a call. In fact, I had friends at the dealership telling me they had seen it on a transporter. And it was en route, and in fact was on the lot. I had about a day's advance notice. It was at the dealership. I don't know if I went by and saw it or not, but it was there, and that was all I cared about. So my salesman, the original salesman I talked to, had left, went to another dealership. So I had a new salesman who didn't know me, and we would go in. I went to the car dealer, looked at the car, saw the price. It wasn't the car I ordered, of course. It was had different options and higher price. Seems like it was about $2,000 to $3,000 more. But I wanted it, and I said, well, I want the car. I'm not going to quibble over a few $1,000s because it wasn't worth it. Because I wanted the vehicle enough to where price was not the big option. I could afford anything I wanted at the time. That's the car I wanted. So we get down to trade-in. They tried to steal my trade, and went back and forth. We finally got the trading price, the difference, up to a reasonable amount of money. And then we came with me with the final figures. They added $1,500 for a dealer package I didn't want, which was stuff like Scotch Guard, pinstripes, a bunch of stuff that I didn't want. So I said, well, I don't want that stuff. In fact, it wasn't even on, you know how they have these additional addendums? That wasn't on the car when I saw it. So I didn't expect that price. So they tacked on another $1,500 on top of the inflated purchase price. And so, well, I don't want those things. Can you take those off? I said, oh no, we put those on every car. Every car gets an addendum. I said, oh, really? So if I go out to the lot, every car I see out there is going to have this on it? Yes, sir. So I actually did that, went out and looked. They didn't, of course, but that's fine. I said, well, take that off, I'll buy the car. I said, oh no, we're not taking it off. As far as the extra options that are on it, if you want, we'll order you a different car with the right options on it. And I said, and wait another 8 weeks? I said, no, I don't think so. So, there's a scratch there. Didn't see that before. So, I said, I don't even know, but hell no. Y'all have misinformed me all the way along. The car's great. Love the car. Love the idea of the car. And Had a big fight, verbal fight in the showroom with the manager yelling and screaming with other people there. I was very embarrassed, but got the point across, I guess. So I said, no, I'm not going to take it. He said, well, we'll sell it to somebody else today, probably. And they were right. The car was so hot at the time. I knew that I was not in a good position to negotiate because the car is so hot. And this happened anytime there's a new car that's popular in the world. I remember the Pontiac GTO. It was made in Australia. The Pontiac Solstice, when it came out, they were selling for overlist. So that's what they were doing, basically, is pumping up the price a little bit. I know there's no markup on cars very much, and they just wanted to make up a little bit, and rightfully so. I just didn't appreciate it. Had they told me that in the beginning, yeah, I might have gone for it. So I walked out in a huff. The next day, I was looking online. I said, I do still need a car. And didn't know what to do. That's the only thing I had made my mind up to buy that car. And so I wasn't even looking at anything else. And I looked online and I happened to see this car. I was looking for used cars at that point. And saw this car at BMW Corpus Christi. And I said, man, that's a good price on this car. These things were selling 12, 13, 14,000 at the time. It was a 16 IS250 with about 78,000 miles on it. All the other one, it was the lowest miles of any car in the state of Texas, of these cars. And the best price. It was the lowest price and the lowest miles. So I went and looked at it, drove it, liked it, and I bought it that day. Didn't trade anything. I just kept my Sorrento. So it had my wife's Mustang. And we had this car then, and then the Sorrento. I knew I was going to have to do something about the Sorrento. And at the time, I was driving for Uber and Lyft. And I thought maybe this car would be a good car for driving. And the Sorrento certainly was. And that was one of the nice things. This car was versatile. In a lot of ways, luxurious. And got to squirt this off now. It's got a spot on me. So I immediately registered this car with Uber and Lyft. Started driving. And it was kind of funny because if you've ever ridden Uber and Lyft, they don't usually drive Lexuses. And so I immediately got a lot of compliments on the car, which was wonderful. And it was amazing too. So I was driving, my tips went way up. I guess people appreciated driving in a Uber that wasn't a Prius or a Corolla. So I thought that was interesting. Anyway. I'm out of breath. You may notice me limping. I blew my knee out a couple of weeks ago, and it is hurting like sardine. It is killing me. Oh, man. I think I did that already. I haven't washed this car in a long time. And I almost said something that would get me canceled. So I won't say that. Anyway, unfortunately, this car has to sit out. Wendy has her Mustang convertible, 08, 140,000 miles. Wendy's my wife. And she wants to keep it inside. I don't blame her. Stays outside all day at work. It'd be better for it to be inside with the convertible top. We're still on the original top on that car, which is hard to imagine. Should have failed a long time ago. It's showing some age, but it's doing pretty good. I didn't think Mustangs were very good quality. And that one has lasted her with minimal maintenance for since 08, brand new. She bought it. She loves it. It's a manual transmission, V6. She wouldn't part with it. I keep telling her to buy a new car. And so one of the reasons we have this car is because her Mustang's in the shop so much, having repairs done, that it keeps us from having to rent a car. We've had to rent a car multiple times because of her car. One time was in about for a month almost. That would have been a lot of rent. So anyway, it's nice to have an extra car actually, but I don't like having it parked outside. So this car, it is a wonderful car to drive. It's a V6 front engine rear wheel drive. Not sure of the power, around 200 horsepower I think. Of course, Lexuses are made by Toyota, so very dependable. And I looked at the value the other day on NADA, and it's still about the same as what I paid for it. Actually more. I think some used cars have actually gone up during this pandemic, believe it or not. And I guess that's understandable. People have money, time on their hands, they're doing stuff that they normally wouldn't do, like buying cars. I just wish I took better care of this because it's such a fun car to drive. There's my limp. Oh man. Again, I compare it to BMW 3 Series. Not manual. That'd be the only thing. Would be better if it had a manual transmission, which it does not have. And that would be nice to have. Goes around corners like stink. It's really amazing. Do it in the back. And so, okay. So, ready to dry. Okay, we're drying. It's so humid. It just stays wet. That's amazing. So, interesting story about this car. Drove it a little bit, and then Wendy and I had occasion to go to Austin for a wedding anniversary of a friend, like 70th year or something like that. Pretty important deal. Good friends. And he's in Austin. So I had took the opportunity to take Texas Highway 130, which goes to bypasses Austin, bypasses San Antonio actually, up through starts at Seguin and goes up towards Austin. And toll road, the speed limit's 85. And I'd heard a lot about it. Never been on it. Wanted to try it. And the funny thing was, a week or so before, we went to San Antonio. I had a doctor's appointment. Took this car to San Antonio. And at the time, I had the Sorrento, the Mustang, and this car. Well, this was the best car, so took it. I noticed on the road to San Antonio, had some wind, but the thing was pulling to the right or left. It was real strange. It had a strong pull. Had to hold on to the steering wheel to keep it in straight. And I thought that was odd. And so I said, well, it must be the suspension or tire. Something's going wrong with the front end of the car. It might be tires. So tires were pretty good, I thought, when I bought it. And the San Antonio trip went fine. I'm not sure if she went on that trip. She didn't, actually. That was me going to a doctor's appointment in San Antonio. That was late. Fall of last year, probably. And so, still out of breath. Get the boy some oxygen. Whew. This is hard on me. It's hot, too. Anyway, San Antonio. A week or so later, maybe a little longer, we had to go to Austin for the anniversary party. Took the high-speed tollway, and still pulling. It pulled the opposite direction, actually. And that day was the same day, so it was in September, I guess, same day as the Formula One race was going on in Austin. I think it was their practice day. And we went to Austin. And so the activity around that track is incredible. Helicopters, traffic, busyness. I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah, it was impressive. That's a big deal, the track in Austin, the Cody. And I'm glad it's here. Hope it stays. We can use it very well in the state. Yeah, and so made the trip up and back without incident. About a week later, I was driving passengers around for Uber and Lyft with this car, not fast, but still driving them. And we got a recall on this car for passenger airbag replacement. And maybe the front one of the driver's side had already been done. So I called the dealership up there and made an appointment to go up there. So Wendy and I went, and I think I combined it with the doctor's appointment I had to have. So it was months later, I guess. And get up there. Oh, before that, I was still looking for an SUV. And I looked online and found, and it went back to BMW for some reason. I found they had a RX 350 on their lot, and I said, man, that's a cool car. That might be a good replacement for my Sorrento. So I went and looked at it, drove it, loved it. I said, man, I'd like to buy this car. And so took it home that night, drove it with Wendy down the bumpiest road in town we could find. So smooth, like a magic carpet ride. And couldn't do anything that day. We need to talk it over anyway. So in a day and a half, we were going to Austin, or to San Antonio, for the recall on this car. We get up to there, and they gave us a loaner car, and it was exactly the same car as that was used in Corpus Christi. It was a brand new one, of course, 2000, I guess 19 at the time. And it was black, same color, same interior, great car. So we had another whole day in the loaner of the same car. And I said, man, that was a coincidence. And so we enjoyed that. So we, wife and I went to San Antonio. We got loaned a black Lexus that I had seen, at BMW dealership in Corpus Christi. Got to drive it, enjoyed it, and it was a wonderful thing. So the dealership, which is North Park Lexus in San Antonio, had the car all day, and we get back to the dealership late in the afternoon after eating, and they worked on our car for another hour and a half. So it was almost dark. Well, it was dark actually when we picked the car up and to head back to Texas. But before we left, technician had looked the car over and had told us that this left front tire was completely worn out, showing cord. Now, mind you, I had been driving on the turnpike to Austin at 85 miles an hour the week before and didn't know the tire was completely gone. They suggested that we get a tire, get it fixed before we hit the road to head back to Corpus Christi that night. I said, oh, it'll be fine. Not going to worry about it. Got home the next day and looked at that tire, and it was, cords were showing through. I said, oh my gosh. So we took it to, in fact, they told me at North Park that the suspension was probably gone. It needed a new strut on one side. So I didn't have the money to do it right then, so we took it to our local place here on the island, Island Tire and Automotive. And we asked them, can you work on Lexus cars and do suspension work? They said, well, we think we can. Yeah, we can get those parts. So I said, man, this thing needs tires. It had good tires on the back. I wanted to match up the Pirellis in the front and fix the suspension. Ended up needing 2 struts and new 2 tires in the front to match the ones in the rear. And ever since then, the cars have run perfectly. Handles great. Tires are looking good. Handles so much better and so much different. It goes straight down the road now. It doesn't shimmy or shake. Doesn't pull to one side or the other. And I really learned to appreciate how good the car is. Only paid about $9,000 for this car. Like I say, it should have been 12, 13,000 for the mileage it had. That's not perfect. It has a few little scratches. I can show you one right here, down the bumper. It even shows up. Got a little scuff right there. This is an interior shot. The car's very nice, very clean. I've gotten it dirty because I use it so much. But overall, it is very nice. Leather interior. Got a great audio system. I'm just loving it. So here's the instrument panel, and got the motor running, got the center stack, navigation, even has heated and cooled seats, which is down there. You can see the perforated leather. Got really nice door panels. It's got home link. Sunroof. Very nice car. Okay. We're going to do a little drive in the Lexus IS250. It's clean, as you can see. For once. Alright, driving the Lexus IS250. Now remember, this is a 2011. I bought it with about 78,000 miles on it, which in some cars would be worn out. In a Lexus, it's just getting started. I've seen these for sale online for $13,000, $14,000, even with that many miles on them. It's kind of amazing. I do believe they hold their value. It's a fun car to drive. It's kind of like a BMW 3 Series. Front engine, rear drive, independent suspension. It's got wide tires, got Pirellis. Suspension has been rebuilt. V6, it makes it super smooth, fairly quiet. You don't ever hear the engine. Got adequate power. It's not overly horsepower, but it's certainly adequate. I believe it's 200 horsepower range. It's a light, small car, so it's really not that bad. Turn the camera around so you can see me. I wanted to talk about the dealerships that I've dealt with. Bought the car at BMW of Corpus Christi, which is a principal group out of San Antonio. Dealership group. Treated me great. I have a friend that works there and made some new friends there. And they were in the process of building a new building here at Corpus, and they have since moved, but great experience.
The other dealership was service on this car, and I visited in San Antonio North Park Lexus, and they have 2 locations in San Antonio. Talk about first class. You feel pampered when you're in there. They have complimentary drinks, like a snack bar with pastries and coffee and all that stuff. Beautiful chairs. You can sit while you're waiting for your car. Have a massage parlor. Have a shoe shine guy that goes around and shines your shoes, complimentary. Of course, you get a tip. Have a meditation room with waterfall, a gift shop, and of course, fabulous cars. We're in the middle of the pandemic shutdown of the beaches, unfortunately, so you'll see up here what they did to shut it down. The RV parks are doing good, and people that are here can go out to the beach and walk and do whatever they want to do. It's the public that can't, or the general population. They're trying to keep people from Houston, San Antonio, Austin, keep them away from here, because they feel like they're bringing the COVID virus with them, dumping it all off on us, and that could be possible. So anyway, here's the barrier. Easily you could go and turn down into the beach there. But they have this nice parking lot, and you can certainly come here and park. So that's a good thing. I just got a courtesy notice from Lexus company on my used car that I need to take it to the dealer to replace some door handle parts that could break. So I get another chance to go to visit North Park. I hate to go during the pandemic that's on right now, so I may have to put that off for a little while. But I do need to go, and so at some point I will be going to San Antonio. Turn around here. This is Michael May's. Great restaurant. A lot of tourists go there. I used to, when I was driving for Uber and Lyft, I'd come here quite often. See what this looks like here. Get an idea. What it's like around here if you're not from Corpus. And I'm hoping you're watching our videos. See there. I'm just driving now. I'm not talking much. Need to talk more. Anyway, this car is super quiet, super smooth. Pretty amazing. Am I a fanboy? Did you notice that? I'm definitely a fanboy for Lexus. Never thought I would own a Lexus. Glad I do now. After experiencing what Lexus does, I can understand why people like them. I saw something online the other day that Lexus had the highest loyalty of any make that's sold in the United States right now. That's pretty good for people who just buy another Lexus. Cadillac is one of the lowest, which I don't understand that, but there must be something there that would cause that to happen. So our drive's almost over. Hope you like this video. Please subscribe. Please like it first. Subscribe to my channel and share. No Lexus subjects are very popular online, and I'm hoping this one will be too. Do any curvy roads around here because it's all residential and there is no curvy roads. So we'll have to suffice this little ride. So we'll have to suffice. Bumpy street. This car though rides stiff, but it rides pretty dang good. Dadgum good. It's certainly plush enough to be true
Here's my other Lexus. You can see the Principal Auto Group. BMW of Corpus Christi. X350. And such a beautiful, spacious interior. Very luxurious. Love this car. Totally different from the other one, but it's very nice.